Parenting, it's got to be one of the biggest adventures in life, right? But with all the information out there, it can feel like you're just drowning in questions. So today, we're going to try and cut through all that noise. We're looking for some clear, simple guidance for this incredibly important journey.
Okay, so let's just get right to it. The big one. You scroll through social media, you see all these seemingly perfect families, you get advice from everyone, and it makes you wonder, what does good parenting really even mean anymore? That's the question we're going to tackle head on.
So here's how we're going to break it down. First up, we're talking about why being perfect isn't the goal. Then we'll get into the real foundations of guidance. After that, we'll look at some of today's biggest challenges, and we'll wrap up with a kind of golden rule for parents.
All right, section 1, a journey, not perfection. Look, this first part is all about mindset, because honestly, before we can even talk about strategies, we have to deal with the biggest hurdle most of us face, and that's letting go of this impossible idea of being the perfect parent. So forget about those endless checklists you see online. The real core of it all is this. Good parenting isn't about being perfect. Not at all. It's about being a steady, reliable guide. And it really just boils down to 3 things: giving love, setting some healthy boundaries, and guiding your kids. That's it. That's the foundation. And I think this is so important. If you've ever had that feeling, that guilt that you're not doing enough, just know you are not alone. It's a feeling almost every parent has. But here's the thing. Your child doesn't need a perfect parent. They really don't. What they need is you, a present, loving parent. That's what matters.
Okay, so now that we've got that mindset right, let's talk about the foundations of guidance. We're going to look at 2 words that are so often misunderstood: boundaries and discipline. It's time to redefine what they actually mean.
A lot of us worry that if we set rules, our kids will think we love them less. But it's actually the complete opposite. Think about it like this. Boundaries are like the walls of a cozy, safe house. They're not there to trap you. They're there to make you feel secure, to protect you from the storm outside. That's what boundaries do for kids. They create a sense of safety and predictability.
And now for discipline. This word has gotten such a bad rap, right? We hear discipline and we immediately think punishment. But check this out. The word actually comes from the Latin disciplina, which means to teach or to guide. Just think about that for a second. That one little shift in meaning, it changes everything. The whole point isn't to punish, it's to teach.
So here's the real difference, laid out plain and simple. Punishment is all about looking backward. It's stuck on the mistake that already happened. But discipline, the teaching kind, is all about looking forward. It's about helping your kid understand consequences so they can make a smarter choice next time. One builds fear, the other builds skills.
All right, section 3, navigating today's challenges. So we've got the theory down. Now let's get practical. How does this stuff actually apply to the real-world messes that we all deal with every day?
Ah, yes, screen time. The question every single parent is asking. It can feel like a constant battle, can it? But you know what? It doesn't have to be. It really is all about how we approach it.
So here's a simple 3-step approach that can make a huge difference. First, set clear, consistent rules, like no phones at the dinner table, period. That consistency creates security. Second, try to make screen time a we thing, not a you thing. Watch something educational together or play a creative game. And third, and honestly, this might be the most important one, model the behavior you want to see. Yeah, that means putting our own phones down. They learn by watching us. Okay, let's switch gears to another big one, the teenage years. Oh man, it can feel like one day they're talking your ear off and the next a steel door has slammed shut. But there are absolutely ways to keep that door from locking. I mean, who hasn't felt this? That frustration builds and you just blurt it out. You never tell me anything. But think about what a teenager hears. They don't hear concern, they hear an accusation, and that just makes them put their walls up even higher. Now, look at the difference here. This is so simple, but it flips the entire dynamic. It's not a demand for information. It's a quiet standing invitation. It says, hey, the door's open. I trust you. Come talk when you're ready. That gives them the control and respect they're craving at that age. So really, what this all comes down to is a big shift for us. Our job becomes less about talking at them and more about just listening. And I mean really listening, not jumping in to fix everything, not judging. When we can do that, we build this incredible foundation of trust.
And that trust is everything.
Okay, section 4 is the parent's golden rule. We've gone through a lot, from big picture mindsets to in the trenches strategies. So now let's tie it all together with one final and maybe most important idea.
And please remember this. Be patient with your child, but also be patient with yourself. This whole parenting thing, it's a journey, not some kind of race. You're going to have amazing days, and you're going to have really, really tough days. Giving yourself the same grace you give your kids, that's not just a nice idea. It's absolutely essential.
Because in the end, it really boils down to one simple truth. Our kids learn way more from what we do than from what we say. All the lectures and rules in the world, they don't mean much if our actions don't line up. We are their first and most powerful example of how to be a human in this world. And trust me, they are always, always watching.
So I want to leave you with a thought. This isn't about some massive overnight transformation into a perfect parent. We already know that doesn't exist. It's just about one small intentional action. So what's one thing you can do today to be the example you want to set for your child? Thanks for joining me for this explainer.